In the fall of 2006, Joanne and I became volunteers in the first Chicago Conservation Corps, known as C3, Community Leader Training Program. Sponsored and conducted by the Chicago Department of Environment, a department disbanded by incoming Mayor Rahm Emanuel in 2011, the training program was conducted by C3 staff and other environmental specialists to prepare community leaders to return to their communities armed with specialized knowledge in the subject areas of air, land, water, and energy, and capable of recruiting and training other community members to work with them in carrying out environmental projects of their design for the betterment of their unique communities and thus the city overall. Joanne and I were enrolled in the first of such training groups and graduated with a specific project for our neighborhood, the halting and ideally the elimination of several invasive plant species which threaten not only the environmental health of our immediate neighborhood, but also the larger city, because invasive species do just that. They invade. Left unchecked, they can destroy a native environment, leading to increased flooding and causing a reduction in the economic viability of a community as well as its aesthetic desirability. This video is a chronicle of our 100th Street Environmental Development Project from that time that we graduated in early 2007 until now. Okay, we're beginning at 100th Street between Avenue J and Avenue H. We, meaning Joanne, is working right now, as you can see. And this is what it looks like at the beginning. She's the sole worker at the moment. And that will change, I suspect, by 9:30 or thereabouts.
It's highly invasive. You could tell from the roots that it's very anxious to crowd everything else out. This is dried Scotch broom. It stands a couple of feet high. I read that it will grow to be about 7 feet high when it's really embedded. So I'm going to get it out while it's about this size. And it's all over here. So
here being
100th Street. Not only here, but also almost any embankment in this area is covered with this Scotch broom. It has a scientific name, what the railroad cut down. Can you get these roots? Look at this. If you don't get the roots out, it's hardly worth doing. Scotch broom is rampant. So tell me why we end up with...
Well, how did it come into the area?
I don't know, but I've seen it along railroad, not railroad. Yeah, railroad and highway embankments. So my guess is that someone brought it in without realizing what it was going to do.
Like kudzu, huh?
Hi. Yeah. I didn't have time to look up kudzu last night. I was going to. But look at this. Just a teeny tiny, but compared to the root compared to the
first group.
Hi, Jewel. Thank you for coming this morning. Hi, how are you? Oh, you get to see me. Yeah, that's you.
I'm 8 years old, though.
It's called a kid again.
I'm 8 years old.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, PlayStation 2. But Farmers, Chevy, snowboarders, Spider-Man 2.
Oh my God.
I got to fight the rhino.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Good luck.
How are you?
It's going to be cold this morning.
I don't know how to fight
We got so much to do here. We'll do what we can.
29.
Did she use the service hours?
Yes. Oh yes, absolutely. Okay, the Scotch broom. This is probably not the tallest one here. If you remember from last fall, this was all over here. And it's a terrible invasive. It's just, it takes over. Once it flowers, it produces seeds. And then you kind of lost the seed once it does that, because the seeds are so strong. From last fall, this was all over here. flowers to produce the seeds. And then you're going to lost the seed once it does that because the seeds are so strong. I think we can, I know they're cool. I just have to go. No. So we're just going to leave this. When the railroad cut back, it just cut off this stuff. You have to watch out here because it's sometimes a mixture. So figure out what's going on.
Okay, leave the worms alone, okay?
Maybe it's stuck in a rock or something.
The shitters?
Yeah. And then I think to take the worms home.
Oh, here's another shark. Ooh, that shark's
Oh, this rock's skinny. Oh, wait, this wood.
wood?
Yeah.
No, there used to be a house over here.
Yeah, but...
And do you have your service learning forms?
No, Adrian,
Okay, we can work that out.
the shirts.
I have to do that this
Not
weekend.
anymore.
That's right.
Just
Yeah.
tracks.
So what are we doing here today? Alright, the ideal is that we'll work this whole area. This section go in here. Basement would be glass and rustic. And collecting stuff. Because flowers that we put in need some protection. So we can make little miniature
back of the house.
Okay, look at. Well, for, no, you don't.
That's right.
Always take Oh.
No, don't take off the
Are you warm?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll wash them and it'll come up. Okay?
Huh?
Did Carolina say she was coming too?
The last minute.
We'll be here till 2.
Is this
I think that is. I think that's honeysuckle. If you can.
Probably.
He gave us some down.
This is also in this. What's rough, right?
Maybe quitting?
Oh, here's something.
your hands, move your hands. Doesn't work.
We're doing invasive.
Yeah.
This is Scotch Bloom. And looks pretty innocent. But if you try to...
Good happen. Come on, back it up.
But I think we should put it right there.
Oh yeah.
And these are the lilies that bloom all the time. Continuing with this, the spring flowers came up in little patches. We got a good return on the bulb investment. And although we planted some lilies, it looks like the invasives pretty much took them over, but lilies aren't blooming yet, so we won't know for a while.
Which invasives in particular?
Scotch broom, garlic mustard. Actually, Jose pretty much destroyed the garlic mustard.
Good.
Yay! Because you don't see any of it over here. So he did a real good job with that. But our third one, the Japanese knotweed, we're going to try to cut back a little bit today because that may be the best we can do to prevent it from growing any further. Meanwhile, we'd like to put in a small butterfly garden. It's a little bit late, but if we water it enough, I think we might get some return on that. So over here, make this sort of the highlight of the project for now, until we can get some kind of control over all the weedy stuff over there.
Where will the butterfly garden go?
Maybe right here. It's a little bit in the shade, but not all day. Invasives, right?
I am, yeah.
Well, somebody should explain what's going on here with the digging. What's happening here today, guys?
We're going to do a little digging for
Prep purposes, huh?
preparation for Joanne to get in here, Antonio, or Joanne, Mike Bowes, and the alderman. Just throw a shovel of dirt.
And this is the symbolic groundbreaking for the 100th Street bike path connection, right?
Right. You're better than Bill Curtis, Kevin.
It wasn't Bill Curtis?
No.
My past is coming back to haunt me. Oh dear.
Right? That also looks like good dirt for gardening.
Oh, there's a connection.
Currently operating on the shovels, we have Alderman John A. Pope and his assistant, T.J. Sajic, with his back to us now. Michael Bowes in the helmet from the Association for the Wolf Lake Initiative, all to dedicate this bike path.
Tossed everything over here.
Okay.
So about 2 weeks, assuming the weather is good.
Yeah, I would think.
And how far back?
Well, the bike path's going to be an additional 5.5 meters, 6-foot buffer, and the bioswale's only about 2 feet wide. And then spoils that roll back.
Okay.
And now they're created national, which you know how long that's been. So, but they did want
And how much vegetation will be removed or cleanup will actually occur here?
well, probably about 20 feet back.
Okay.
It'll all be a new surface, and then, like I said, the spoils will be rolled back, so that'll be a nice surface for us.
Make sure you get some before and photos there. Before and after photos.
We'll take some.
Hey, it goes up to the tracks.
Before the gas line.
Yeah, right up to the gas line, and then we have this safety brake crossing, like safety.
Dennis, would you please let me get you in front of the camera? Tell us who you are and what this is all about from your perspective.
I'm Dennis Popish with Chicago Department of Transportation, and we're here to help with the groundbreaking for the proposed bike path and bioswale project. The project is actually going to help access for the end of the Bowen Greenway at 100th and Indianapolis Avenue for bikers and pedestrians to traverse from the Greenway down 100th Street and into Calumet Park. So we'll have a dedicated, two dedicated bike lanes, one way eastbound and westbound, and restriped pavement, and a planted bioswale to give us some green infrastructure as part of the project.
Thank you, Dennis. And Alderman John Pope, what's your take on the Greenway?
This is another improvement to the 10th Ward. This has been a project in the work for years. I know Larry of my office has been involved, and of course you, Kevin, and Joanne, and just a way to improve this entryway into and out of the park. There's so much traffic here, both vehicular and bicycle, that we thought this was a great way to improve some vacant property that was really underutilized. And actually, we think it'll help bring more attention to the park and to the biker community, and help discourage littering. As you can see, a lot of people tend to throw their litter out here when they see an improved piece of property. We hope that discourages that as well. And just another way to become more green here in the city of Chicago, and specifically in the 10th Ward.
Thank you. Thank you both. I'm going to start with the fact that they're doing the lining of the bike area now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here we are with this 500-foot expanse of bioswale to monitor, and we have a bit of a problem. It's something called Japanese knotwood, I believe.
Knotweed.
Knotwood or knotweed, okay. At any rate, this is an invasive, and I've just used this really snazzy tool put out by Fishkers that helps us get this out pretty quickly. That's going to be a tremendous job. This is one of about 4 different invasives that live here on the space at 100th Street, on South 100th Street, between Avenues G and J on the southeast side of Chicago. So Kevin Murphy, my husband, and I, Joanne Podpole, are here as representing a number of different organizations. One, the Chicago Conservation Corps. This has been our project with that. That is a Chicago Department of the Environment project. We're also here representing the Calumet Stewardship Initiative, which promotes green living throughout northwest Indiana and southeast Chicago and its suburbs. So we're here today to put in some time to pick up any stray trash that might have come by, and also to assist in getting out the invasives so that the people who come by here will be able to enjoy this really lovely flowered area. So fortunately today, we're here at the same time that the city is putting in the bike path, and that was there's some pretty little things here.
Definitely.
I have no idea. part of it.
Knotweed?
Yeah. See if I can come down here.
All right.
So this is the Japanese knotweed, and look at the root. That's only part of it. So that explains why it's so hard to get rid of. And it can also spring from any part of this green plant too. As
It can
I
also...
understand it can reproduce from any part of that. So if it falls down in the forest, it can root from any part from here. It forms its roots from there too.
On September 1st, 2011, we received word that the Chicago Department of Transportation wanted to find out what our wishes were for the 100th Street garden strip that parallels the new bike lane between Avenue G and Avenue J. We responded quickly to the Department of Transportation that we wanted all the growth that was there, that appeared to be weeds and some flowers and all that sort of thing, to remain there, because it's holding the soil and blocking invasives that we've been removing, particularly Japanese knotweed. We sent that word along very quickly. On the morning of September 2nd, 2011, we went down to 100th Street to look at the garden, and it had been totally stripped to the ground, the section that we had asked to be left alone. This prompt response that was contrary to our request led us to wonder what it is about our communication process that isn't working. And that is something that we need to clarify very quickly, because it would appear that the best thing we could have done would have been to say cut it, and perhaps it wouldn't have been cut, since we said don't cut it and it was. So we do wonder exactly what it takes to communicate clearly regarding this important project.
Looking at what happened after the city mowed this, what's clear is that the invasives survived. Other plantings or other weeds that might have been able to hold the soil down are pretty much gone. And what we have is pretty obvious growth of invasive, especially Japanese knotweed. And this area had been overcome with the Japanese knotweed prior to this. Well, we'll keep trying to get rid of it. To some extent now it's a little bit more visible, but I think that's also because it doesn't seem to have too much competition at this particular moment. The lilies, I don't see anything left of the lilies, but with luck maybe the rhizomes are underground and they'll come back up in the spring. But it's going to be a battle again with knotweed.
I'm at the stop sign at 100th Street and Avenue H, and what I'm capturing now is a lot of the exposed Japanese knotweed here at the stop sign and westward from the stop sign to the next light pole or power pole, whatever it is there. And there's just a lot right now. After about 30 minutes of work, we've had this much that we've removed and tossed out on the bicycle path to be removed permanently from the area when we wrap up today. This is about 2/3 of the pile, and the other one is back here in back of the car. We're about 40 minutes into it now, and there's a lot that we've taken out, and it's just scratching the surface. There's a lot to be done. Plus, with these piles around the car, we have to find a way to do a better job of separating the invasive from the dirt that they've been hiding in. As it is right now, we've got an awful lot of dirt out here too that we really don't want to remove from the area. And it looks kind of like we've been doing a small version of the movie Holes, all the way from here on back to the pole. But there's just an awful lot yet to be done. We're only about halfway down this strip.
Okay, we're looking at Japanese knotweed. Here, there.
If you look close to the pole, there's a major root that they're all probably connected to. It's about 1.5 inches thick from before. So all the red tinged stuff that we're looking at is Japanese knotweed.
It's not tall.
It's getting pretty tall, yeah.
Pack of sand and it's a ground cover, so we'll see how this works. We're hoping to control the invasives. and the trash was almost the worst. There was a whole, I think it was a 24-pack, empties, some strewn all over, some still in the box, and a variety of other items, pretty much at the west end rather than the east end of the space. The Japanese knotweed, not too much of it, not even up at the top of the berm. Most of it is centered around the stoplight sign, the stop sign. We planted some, I think they're Elysium or something related to that, close to the sign to see if something might grow. Last fall we put in a half a dozen mum plants. If I see evidence of 2, we're lucky. The lilies are struggling, although I did see that 1 out of maybe 8 or 9 that we put in last year is ready to bloom. I'm not so sure about the rest. It's not really great soil. One bonus of being out there today is that a gentleman in a white pickup stopped on his way out of the park and applauded our efforts to maintain the property. Then we went into a conversation about invasives, and he was quite helpful. He says he's tried burning them out and they come right back because of the roots, but more recently he's tried straight vinegar right on each plant. So we're willing to try that. Right now the invasives seem to be, again, kind of in balance. The Japanese knotweed may be thriving beyond the berm in the wooded area, but and it recurs close to the stop sign. But beyond that, it's just a couple of strays here and there. The Scotch broom is a little bit almost everywhere, but we're able to pull it out when it's about like this. There are a few that are much taller, like almost my height, but they come up easily. So we're getting that taken care of. I'm noticing garlic mustard. We pulled out several very large ones that were hidden in some tree limbs that we lopped off today. So that, I'm sure, is quite invasive beyond the berm, but it doesn't visit the other side too often.
But beyond the berm is Canadian national property?
Yeah. And I wouldn't venture to go in there because it's entirely too thick. I have no idea what might be in there. So I think that's our summary for today, and we watered some plants, we pulled, we dug up, we cleaned up, and, you know, ordinary day in the
100th Street adventure.
Yeah, also we're looking for a place to put a sign in honor of Al Gagnon, the 6th grade teacher at Taylor School, who's done a lot of environmental work with students, even down in 100th Street. And so that was one of our other side projects today, to see if we could find a location for a sign that would be 2 feet high and maybe 4 feet wide.
Okay, this is June 19th, 2012. This is the catch for today. Only a couple of bottles, mostly scrap paper. Maybe the wind's responsible for a good part of that.
What kind of bottles?
Beer bottles. Mostly beer bottles.
Okay.
And plastic water bottles, but nowhere near the 18 and 24 beer bottles that we found earlier, and much more recently. Looks like the stuff planted in the berm is doing well, or in the swale. There's some other stuff coming up. Also some of the lilies that we planted last year are coming up, like right here. We may even have some flowers if the Park District doesn't mow it.
Okay.
If the Park District doesn't mow it, maybe the lilies will come up.
If the Park District doesn't mow it.
Yeah, they're out there today. But this doesn't look too bad now, so they probably won't even try over here.
Maybe they got the word.
And meanwhile, we have to find a place for Mr. Gagnon's sign. Ouch, ouch.
Near the stop sign, I think.
Yeah. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And this we need to go back to the park and drop off. We were out here just a few days ago, probably 2 days ago, and did some cleanup, but look at all this, including a jacket. The good thing is that the invasives seem to be not prevalent right now. That's very good. However, way back in there, the Japanese knotweed got away with this much. So we do need help with this.
As of this date, June 26, 2012, the 100th Street project is still awaiting assistance in the controlling of Japanese knotweed, which is the most aggressive invasive plant at that location. An encouraging note is that Canadian National Railway, headquartered in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, has expressed an interest in the project, which is the first time in the 6 years that we have been working on that project that owners of the property have responded at all encouragingly. Given the Canadian National is a relatively recent owner, this is encouraging, although we have yet to meet with our contact person at CN. But we are also hopeful about that happening because he is an environmentally degreed professional who is responsible for all of Canadian National's safety and sustainability issues. With luck, we will have a part 2 to this story, and it will be a positive one. Stay tuned.